In August 2025, the world is closely watching as a diplomatic storm brews between the United States and India over the issue of trade and energy security. U.S. President Donald Trump has dramatically escalated the situation by announcing a significant increase in tariffs on imports from India. Currently, Indian goods face a 25% tariff upon entering the U.S., but Trump has threatened to raise these rates very substantially within just 24 hours. His administration's primary concern centers around India's surging imports of Russian crude oil, a phenomenon that began soon after the outbreak of the Ukraine conflict. Today, over one-third of India's total oil imports originate from Russia, making India one of Moscow's largest energy customers despite mounting Western sanctions on Russia. The U.S. government argues that India's growing trade with Russia undermines global efforts to isolate Moscow over its role in the Ukraine war. Washington maintains that India's purchases of Russian oil are directly contributing financial support to Russia's war effort, effectively undercutting the intent of American and European sanctions. In statements to the media, President Trump has labeled India as a not-good trading partner, insisting that punitive tariffs are the only way to force a change in policy if diplomatic warnings go unheeded. As a further measure, the U.S. is also warning of an additional 25% penalty tariff, explicitly linked to continued imports of Russian energy. India, however, has fiercely rejected these accusations. Indian officials argue that securing affordable energy is vital for their rapidly growing nation, home to more than 1.4 billion people. They accuse the United States and its allies of hypocrisy, pointing out that both the U.S. and Europe maintain their own considerable business ties to Russia. Describing Trump's action as unjustified and unreasonable, India's foreign ministry emphasizes the country's right to make sovereign choices about its strategic partnerships and energy needs. Indian leaders insist that access to inexpensive Russian oil helps protect Indian consumers and shield the economy from extreme fluctuations in global energy prices. The crisis has quickly developed into a significant diplomatic standoff. Just a few months earlier in February, both the U.S. and India were reaffirming strong ties and broad cooperation across sectors. The abrupt turnaround has caught businesses, investors, and diplomats off guard. Russia, for its part, has voiced strong support for India, dismissing U.S. sanctions and pressure tactics as illegitimate. Moscow maintains that every nation should be free to choose its trading partners, especially in matters of energy security, and has praised India for its independent approach to global affairs. The economic implications for India could be harsh if these threatened tariffs are enacted. Nearly half of India's massive $85 billion worth of exports to the U.S. could be subjected to stiffer duties overnight. This includes critical sectors like pharmaceuticals, IT services, textiles, and manufactured goods. Companies warn this new tariff regime could disrupt supply chains, trigger layoffs, impact the stock market, and make exports to America far less competitive. Indian economy experts predict a short-term shock and significant longer-term uncertainty until a new equilibrium is found. On the world stage, these tensions appear to herald a broader shift in economic alliances and energy politics. Other major economies are watching closely, including those that, like India, must navigate between Western sanctions on Russia and their own economic imperatives. As global oil markets brace for potential volatility and new supply chain shocks, all eyes are on Washington and New Delhi to see whether negotiations, compromise, or further escalation will define the next chapter of this diplomatic crisis. This episode vividly illustrates how intertwined geopolitical interests, trade, and energy security have become, and underscores the far-reaching impact of great power rivalries on ordinary citizens, businesses, and markets worldwide.